Manikam.
Namaste.
Namaskaram.
Sai Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Swamiyesam Namayappa. Good afternoon, everybody. Alright. If you are watching the show for the very first time, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it already. Welcome to all our newcomers. I know there's a lot of new people watching the show this afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to Attenville TV. Yeah, we're streaming live in the nature south, guys. I'm your host Kimera Heeralal, and by my side I've got Dashnee Manikam.
Manikam, everyone.
And you are watching The Journey. It's about exploring Hinduism as a whole. Now, if you want to interact with us in studio today, please comment at the bottom of the screen, or you could use our WhatsApp line, which is 074 660 5829. So today, guess what we're talking about?
The classical dances of India.
Oh, yes, we do. Turning the light bulbs and we're patching the dog. No, I'm joking. I'm teasing, guys. Okay, this is a cultural show about Hinduism, and today we've chosen, well, the directors have chosen to speak about classical dances of India. So, what do you know about it? Like the history behind it, or the wisdom behind it, or a lot of people that are not Hindu or Indian tend to find it straight up boring. Let's be honest.
That's true, because, okay, so the name of the classical dance we are going to be speaking about is Bharatanatyam.
Okay.
So it's obviously originated in the South India. But one thing I've realized, like, recently, is it's not only Indians wanting to learn Bharatanatyam.
Just so you know.
So it's also like other, like, say, Christians or Gujarati people. It's not only South Tamil speaking people, because the dance, most of it is because it's a Tamil dance, you need to understand. So there's hand gestures, there's a lot of things that's the Sanskrit meaning to it.
Okay.
So it's very difficult to understand. It's also a very difficult dance to it's very hard. So people actually take years to actually graduate from this dance, but we will go further into it.
Okay, so do you know the importance of it, or are we going to get into that a little bit later?
Okay, so to my understanding, the importance of it is basically it's storytelling through. One of the biggest parts of it is emotion.
Okay.
So if you learn this dance, you will know that there's a hand gesture, so meaning different hand gestures, they call mudras, which will explain.
Okay.
And then the facial expressions and the body language. And while you're learning this dance, you have to perfect. Well, there's no perfecting it, you learn.
Okay.
Every time there's something to learn, but you have to perfect those things, be able to tell a story without speaking, but using your body language, your hands and your face. So the importance is that it also tells the story of, so yesterday our topic was Nadaraja.
Right.
So he is our god of dance, the cosmic dance. So he is the god that they pray to when they dance to this god. And basically all the stories is about all his forms, and also with Krishna. It's beautiful. I feel like when we get into it, we'll learn more. But it's actually very beautiful.
Alright, so we've got a good lineup today. Besides Dashnee and myself, Kimera, we've got Shashika Sain, who's joining us with her view on classic dances that happens in India. And we also got Stylist Rhythm Dance, who's coming up. They're doing the Shiva Tantav today, so it's quite awesome. And then at the end of the show, we always give you the lesson of the 108 principles of the value system.
Yes.
And, well, a little bit more of entertainment coming from the MSK Temple with Uncle Rahul.
So beautiful.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. All right, guys, stay exactly where you are. We're going to come back straight after this commercial break.
Vanakkam.
Namaste.
Namaskaram.
Sairam.
Jai Shri Ram.
Swami Saranamayyappa. Welcome back, everybody. If you just joined us, you are currently streaming live with us in Asia South on Actonville TV.
Yes.
If you're wondering why, well, the Actonville TV gang decided to travel to each place, you know.
Well, this is actually Kimera's hometown.
Yeah,
She lived there.
I grew up here. I was like bred here. You know?
But I'm the neighbor.
That's it. All right, guys. Well, I'm Kimera Heeralal as your host. By my side, we've got Dashnee, Manikam.
Vanakkam, everyone.
And you are still watching the Journey Show. It's about exploring Hinduism as a whole.
Yes.
So today we're talking about classical dances in India.
Also known as Bharatanatyam.
That's it. Well, let's jump all the way to London, baby. We've got Shashi Gosai talking about the classic dances of India. Before we get into depth, check out what she has to say.
Namaste, I'm Shashi Gosai. Now, Hinduism goes back more than 5,000 years, and we have a set of sacred books called the Vedas, which tell us about every aspect of our life. India is perhaps one of the most richly advanced countries in the world, going back thousands of years, for fine arts, folk and classical music, classical dances, and each state has its own particular way of depicting them. It is believed that the dance was conceived by one of our lords, Lord Brahma, and he revealed it to one of our sages, Bharat Muni. And this is actually set down in one of our Vedas, and it's called Natya Shastra, which means dance and drama, the art of dance and drama. Lord Shiva is also called Nataraja, the Lord of Dance. And his dance was called Tandav, which was a fine balance of life and death and the universe. So very much a cosmic dance. And you'll find these depictions in each of the temples, the ancient temples, wherever Lord Shiva was revered, that he was in one of these dancing modes. And all the dancers do first do the pranam, that is, they give them homage to Lord Shiva before they start any dance. The classical dance forms originated in the temples to entertain the gods and goddesses. But over a period of time, more themes were added and expressions were added from social life, and which gave rise to different styles in different states. Now, they were very effective in conveying the mythological stories, generation to generation, and that's how our culture has survived for so long, because it was a form where everybody could understand a story and then easy to pass down the generations. Classical dances are very strictly composed, with specific emphasis on the grace and pose. And there are actually chapters written on how each mudra or how each hand movement or eye movement is done. So you can see the precision, and it could take years for a professional dancer to master the art. In contrast, there are folk dances in India, which are usually group dances and not necessarily formed by professionals, but they exude the enthusiasm, energy of the state. And you'll find the Bhangra in Punjab, which is celebrated during the harvest time, and you'll have the Garba in Gujarat, which is performed during the Navratri time. So these are very specific to the states and the culture one was in at the time. But however, there are 8 different classical dance forms, so let's look at those now. Bharatanatyam is the oldest dance form, which originated in Tamil Nadu. So let's see how it got its name. Bhava means emotion. Ra means rag, which means musical notes. Ta means tal, which is rhythm. Natyam is Sanskrit for drama. So it was a dance drama with using a lot of expressions, musical notes with geometric expressions on their body language. It's just an amazing piece of art to watch. And coupled with the dramatic eye makeup and the colorful eye-catching jewelry and the 7-piece sari that they adorned, made it a very visually beautiful experience. And this concept was really promoted even in Bollywood movies, because it became very popular with everyone, really. The second most popular dance was Kathak, which originated in Uttar Pradesh, that is North India. And Katha actually means storytelling. It originated in the temples, and there were recitations of the mythological stories of Ramayana and Krishna, using very delicate expressions of the eyes and almost a linear body language, unlike the other dance forms. but the footwork was absolutely electric, and fleeting eye movements, spins, dramatic stillness, heavy gungrus, and that kind of noise could convey from a patter of rain to gallop of horses. So you can imagine the footwork that the Kathak dancers had to master to actually convey a story by sheer expression and dance. It became very popular in the Mughal courts due to its grace and sensuality. And over a period of time, even that became very popular in Bollywood because you could convey a lot of love and emotion through these very delicate moves. There are 4 main schools of Gharana, which means 4 schools of this particular type of dance, and they're located in Jaipur, Lucknow, Raigad and Banaras. And there are very just slight differences, but the main ethos is very similar. So the dress in this dance is like chudidar, long frocks with chudidar pajamas, or they had ghagra choli attire. That's a small blouse with a skirt. And the emphasis was quite much on the eyes to make it very dramatic, so they could convey the emotion. So a very sensual type of dance, and again very, very popular with all the courts in all the kings, and an absolute delight to watch even on stage today. The third type of dance is Odissi from the state of Orissa. Now this is a very graceful and passionate and sensuous form of dance devoted to Lord Shiva and Lord Surya. They use very intricate hand gestures called mudras, and they appear like waves on an ocean. So very flowy type of dance. Very popular in Shri Jagannath temple, and you'll see all these icons carved throughout the temple, and with different styles and different hand movements. So the beauty is in its convey of music in a very lyrical way, in a dance form, but it had a beautiful flow to it. So that's what made Odissi dance so popular. And the costume was usually a sari for women and a dhoti for men, and the woman also sometimes wore a crown in her hair and with some white flowers, so it looked very, very a 3-year almost. It's very beautiful. I really do recommend you must see this dance if you're ever in India. The fourth type of dance is called Kuchipudi, which is from Andhra Pradesh. Now this is considered, I think, perhaps one of the most difficult dances, and eventually evolved to almost solo performances. Done both by men and women, and the dance drama depicts stories about Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna and his wife Rukmini. There's a slight overlap with Bharatanatyam because the states are quite close to each other, but the main difference is that it uses mime and speech in the narration too. And again, the costume is a sari, and the men wear dhoti type of attire. Now, this actually came from a village called Kuchipudi, and this village was gifted to the Brahmins in the 17th century because they loved to stage these plays, with mythological stories. So again, something that's very, very popular, still is, and it's got a beauty that you can only imagine when you see each dancer performing the intricate footwork, the expressions, and the body movement. Really, it's a feast. I just cannot take my mind off that beautiful dance I saw once. Kathakali from Kerala is another very popular dance in South India, and it actually means the art of storytelling. Now, unlike other dances, this actually originated in the courts and in theatres. So there used to be huge theatrical performances around the epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata. Now, this dance is different in that you might have seen the very dramatic, extra dramatic makeup. The costumes are very elaborate, and you can see the creativity that goes behind the costumes. And the movements are very influenced by ancient martial arts, so very athletic. And the storytelling became, in a way that became very passionate, because they could really just do all these moves. They were not the delicate moves of the other classical dances, but much more theoretical, and emphasis was given on the beat. So something that we'll never forget. If you've seen it once, you'll never forget it because of the sheer creativity that went through the whole dance. It was just as though they had the whole stage to themselves and they could do what they wanted to convey the story in a way that people would never forget. Another dance that came from Kerala is called the Mohini Yatnam. Mohini means a beautiful woman and Atha means a dance. So this kind of dance is very beautiful, soft, gentle, gliding, feminine movements with a surgical flow of, the music through the body. And elaborate hand gestures are used and with facial expressions to convey a story in a very lyrical form. So it's a softer dance as opposed to the Kathakali, which is a much more dramatic one. So this was the opposite. So some people preferred the softer kind rather than the more dramatic, but nonetheless it was similar stories but conveyed in a different style. Another beautiful dance is Manipur, from the state of Manipur. It's a very spiritual experience about the romance of Krishna and Radha. So the dance is softer with a graceful lyrical form going throughout, and the dancers would have this smile on their face, a romantic smile, and a lot of curves on the body throughout the dance, and shiny costumes. But the costumes are so beautiful. The female dancers had this decorative barrel-shaped drum-like long stiff skirts with velvet embroidered blouses, and male dancers had the dhoti kurta and they wore a lot of jewelry. Now, the difference between this dance and all the other classical dances is that this dance did not use ghunguru, which is the bells around the ankles. Because it was a lyrical, softer dance, they didn't want the heavy beats of the footwork, so it's more to do with the upper body. It's a beautiful dance, and once you've seen this kind of romance coming on screen or on stage, you will come up with something, a smile on your face yourself, because it is just so beautiful. The last type of classical dance is called Satriya, which came from Assam. This became very popular in the 15th century when the Bhakti movement started, and a lot of compositions are written by Shankaradeva. Now, these dances were performed in the dancing halls of the monasteries of the Satriya, and became very popular because they were performances for the community. But it still referred to all the epics from the Mahabharata and Ramayana, so the mythology still carried on. And these are what's common amongst all the classical dances of India. Well, I hope you enjoyed listening to that very small snippet of our amazing culture.
Shashi, good sign, all the way London, baby. Okay, so I think everybody's understanding from the London side and the South African side and the India side, it's actually quite the same.
It is the same.
Yeah, so guys, if you are watching the show, you'll notice that we take opinions from all over the world. Or not, I won't say opinions, sorry, I'll say different beliefs, different ways that we each were raised and grown up and our grannies taught us. So, so some of us have different ways, beliefs, but I see today in the classical dances of India, we're doing quite well, all of us are.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yes, we are on the same page. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, when you come back, we're going to give you a bit of entertainment with, the Tandav, the Shiva Tandav, we call it rather. Straight after this commercial break.
The ultimate accessory, the latest shiny thing, mesmerized. Trying to keep up, but never getting ahead in an endless cycle of spending. In this world of constant upgrades, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
Vanakkam.
Namaste.
Namaskaram.
Sai Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Swamiye Saranamayappa. Welcome back, everybody. Good afternoon to everyone on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon.
Yes.
But every Tuesday, you notice I'm wearing orange. Yeah. I'm representing Hanuma Baba, Alright, guys, welcome back. If you just joined us, you are currently streaming live with us in the nation's south on Actonville TV. This is The Journey Show, the show about exploring Hinduism as a whole. I'm your host, Kimera, Heeralal. By my side, Dashnee, Manikam.
Manikam.
Alright, so let's get back into it. We're going to talk about classical dances of India, right? Or did you say dance? Do you say the word dance or dance?
I say dance.
Dancing.
I also hear people say the word dance. I don't know which is the right pronunciation.
Yeah.
I've always said dance. I've heard people around me say dance. But I've also heard a number of people say dance.
Okay,
so why do you say dance or dance? Number one or number two?
It depends on the wording of the sentence. It comes out
Really?
sometimes. I'm dancing with you. I'm dancing with you. Pronunciation is a matter of opinion, guys.
Sure.
Alright, so before we get back into our teachings of the classical dances of India, we have Stylist Rhythm Dance by Shiva Tanda of Cosmic Temple of Dance. Check them out.
Kanak junata ta ta trigerdom kanak junata ta ta trigerdom kanak junata ta ta trigerdom triggerda ta 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 tom kanak junata ta ta trigerdom kanak junata ta ta trigerdom kanak junata ta ta triggerda ta 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 ta